Frohe Weihnachten, ihr Nasen. Herzlich willkommen zu meinem weihnachtlichen Silent LP. Besinnlich. Eher weniger. Obwohl, ich mache hier bloß ein paar einleitende Worte und ein paar Abschlussworte zu dem Spiel. Deswegen ist es ein bisschen besinnlicher, wenn ihr meinen Gequatsche nicht die ganze Zeit hören müsst. Ich spiele für euch Majesty's Spiffing. Wahrscheinlich so falsch ausgesprochen, wie es nur geht, aber ich hoffe, ich versuche euch da die Feiertage ein bisschen mit und wünsche euch viel Spaß.
Here we are, Sub-Lieutenant Jones. Space, the final frontier. I am Captain Frank Lee English, and these are the voyages of the starship HMSS Imperialize. Our mission? To explore strange new worlds, to seek out new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Rousing stuff, Captain English, sir.
You really think so? I was afraid it would sound a little bit cliched. The last thing I'd want would be for anyone listening to think that was going to be representative of the quality of all our dialogue throughout this entire voyage.
Perhaps it's best not to heighten expectations too early on, boyo.
Yes, Jones. A healthy dose of self-deprecation should neutralize the mildly xenophobic nature of the mission we've been tasked with by Her Majesty, Queen of Great Britain and of the Commonwealth Realms.
Yeah, so long as we can avoid resorting to trite nationalistic jokes, we should be fine.
Yes, I absolutely agree, Sub-Lieutenant Jones. Well, I'm past. Who's for tea? Jones, as your commanding officer, I'm ordering you to go make me a cup of tea. 2 sugars. And go easy on the milk. I'll need it for my Weetabix in the morning.
I don't think they provided us with milk, boyo. Just the powdered stuff.
Curse this lack of lactation! Very well. You stay here at the controls, Jones, while I navigate to the ship's kitchen facilities to acquire a refreshing beverage. The walk will give me the chance to familiarize myself with the intuitive navigation system.
Can you grab us a cup too?
I feel compelled to say an authoritative yet non-committal perhaps in this circumstance, Jones. It would be an appropriate reason to practice using the inventory system, yet I fear that such a magnanimous gesture may erode the command hierarchy aboard this vessel. I'll be on my way now, just as soon as I choose to exit this chair. If I do that, I'll have to go on a course. It's Wales' own son, Sub-Lieutenant Jones. Sub-Lieutenant Jones!
Aye, boyo?
How do you take your tea? Milk? Sugar? Lukewarm?
Just in a cup would be lovely, thanks.
Can I get you anything else from the kitchen? A biscuit, perhaps?
Oh, I'd love a biscuit. Bring us back a Jaffa cake.
Jaffa cakes aren't biscuits, they're cakes.
How can they be cakes? Look at all the size of them.
Weren't you taught that size isn't important?
It's never been an issue for me, boyo.
Me neither. So how's the family back in old Blighty? Been keeping up with the Joneses?
Mum and Dad are fine, and Harrod's getting ready to go to uni in Swansea.
Fantastic! What's she studying?
3D computer animation.
Oh! Well, it's a degree, I guess. Don't mind me. The humble tray table. Best stow this for now. That leads out of the cockpit. Now, to find the kitchen. If memory serves me correct, it's just down this corridor, beyond the fourth wall.
Aren't you supposed to be going to the kitchen, boyo? You won't find anything fit for human consumption in there.
It's Alad's mug, isn't it? It's for my Rosie Lee. Sorry, Cockney crockery. Cup of cha? I can't use these two together. Why, it's packed to the rafters with mild English cheddar. There's a seemingly unlimited supply of mild English cheddar cheese. Plenty to share. It really takes the misery out of making tea. It's Alad's mug, isn't it? Of course, the downside of having a sentient being responsible for making the tea is that every so often it forgets how much milk to add.
This is no time to be taking a nap, but...
I don't believe the isolation of space has forced me to talk to the furniture just yet.
Any danger of making that tea, boyo?
Awfully sorry for the delay.
Never mind, boyo. How did you manage to carry it in there without spilling any?
I've just been very careful, ever since that whole Deepwater Horizon incident.
I don't really have anywhere to set this. You won't take over the controls from it until I finish. Wouldn't want to spill anything over these expensive electronics.
Ha, but of course! Why, if such a thing were to happen, we'd have a real puzzle on our hands.
Just go easy. Keep it steady.
Yes. Okay, right. Yeah, okay.
Life support systems offline.
Didn't expect that.
Opening rear cargo doors. Venting reserve oxygen supply.
Right. Well, that's. Yeah. Oh no.
Commencing cabin depressurization. Opening rear cargo
shouldn't have done
doors.
that. No.
Flight safe mode disabled. Primary starboard fuel cell jettisoned.
Didn't expect that. Yes.
Opening rear cargo doors. Daisy,
Give me your answer.
Holy cow! Ah! Look what you've done! I told you to keep it steady.
Good heavens! What a waste of perfectly good tea.
I think we should be more concerned about the irreparable damage done to the ship's steering system. Both problems, by the way, are your fault.
Look, obviously, the controls weren't calibrated to account for my superior strength. They were more sensitive than a pubescent poet. Regardless, we'll have plenty of time to argue about this now that we're stranded. Unless, of course, we can replace the controls with something else.
When you say we...
I mean the royal we. I'll sort this out. Don't move. I don't want you dribbling on anything else. Honestly, you're worse than the elderly. That leads out of the cockpit. That's the gravity simulation switch. The animators rather we leave it on. Less things to move. Now, let's see. It appears to be stuck. With great power comes great responsibility. It specifically says no rustling. No flagship worth its salt would be without a draconian list of rules to adhere to. Now, what do we have here? Ah! Good Lord. It might fit Allard's dainty hand. I've a bit more girth. Without the right tools for the job, I'm not risking it. I'm prone to stage fright with an audience. I can't use these two together. I doubt combining these two. I'm sure there's a more practical. We'll agree to disagree about that. No need to start cutting just yet. Presumably the manufacturer opted for shards of metal as opposed to goose down. Of course, it lacks the precision of a mouse and keyboard. That's the radio wave oven. It's the same idea as a conventional microwave oven, except while your meal is cooking, you can listen to the cricket on Radio 5. I am feeling rather peckish.
Ah! 你個死英國佬，我鎖開你隻手咯喎！
That settled it. I'm going gluten-free when I get back to Old Blighty. Mild green washing up liquid. Surely you can't be serious. I think it would be best if I did something else with this. It's not the worst idea I've ever heard. I remember when they talked about keeping BBC. I'm happy with the current level of cleanliness. There appears to be something stuck in the drive. I don't think they'd get along. I fear we may need to curtail this imaginative thinking. I'm sure there's another more rational use for this. Gosh, no matter how many times I keep clicking on things, this drive won't become unblocked. I'll have to think of something else. There's been a slight infestation. The lower decks are on lockdown. I would do well to study these closely in case of an emergency, like we're stranded immobile in space. I'll have to take a closer look at these safety instructions for peace of puzzle. I mean mind. Peace of mind. I would do well to study these closely in case of an emergency, like we're stranded immobile in... Why, the humble paperclip, a staple of any adventure gamer's inventory.
Have you found something to replace the controls you broke yet?
Here, plug this in. See if it works.
That isn't going to be much use without batteries, boyo.
What? Aren't they included?
And remove a superfluous hurdle present simply to prolong a problem you've long since figured out? Huh. When is that ever the case?
Here, plug this in. See if it works.
No joy, boyo.
What? Is it supposed to be plug and play?
No, boyo. You'll have to install the drivers first.
Well, can't you just download them in here?
The Wi-Fi can't reach this part of the ship. Try getting online in one of the other rooms. See if you can download the drivers onto something and bring it here.
I suppose you'll just be sitting here in the meantime.
That's how the genre works, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if it is broke, well, it's probably a tedious puzzle to fix it.
Let's see if prodding this around fixes anything. Aha! 1.44 megabytes of virgin digital space. 3.5 inches. It's compact, but still large enough to grip. I can't use these two together. Now, to download this driver. I just need to connect to the internet first. Bingo! Found it! Now I just need to save it onto something so I can install it in the cockpit. I doubt combining these two will prove to be particularly useful. Very odd. It won't let me save onto the disk. I can't seem to save onto it for some reason. I can't seem to save onto it for some reason. Fantastic! Now to quickly copy this driver. Whoa! Oh, sorry. Oh, gosh, is that the time? It'll be starting to get dark outside. Best check up on Alec and see if he's dried off. It's remarkable how much information can be stored on something so compact. Sub-Lieutenant Jones. Allard. Wake up. Wake up, Allard. Oh, this is useless. He'll be out for hours unless I can think of another way to wake him up.
What's going on? What are you playing at, boyo?
I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. It felt like someone else was in control of my inhibitions.
Just give me the driver so we can GTFO.
GTFO?
Get things functioning and online. You need to swat up in your acronyms. FFS. For future scenarios.
Here, install this, and we should be underway again.
You could have used my USB pen, you know.
What? Is that another one of your acronyms I'm supposed to know?
What? Universal Serial Bus?
Ha! Serial bus. I know you're just making that one up.
Well, boyo, I've got some good news and some bad news. Which one do you want first?
I'll take the opportunity to indulge in a fleeting moment of comfort and reassurance prior to being crippled with anxiety and fear.
All right, boyo. Well, the good news is the drivers are installed. The bad news is that one of us is going to have to descend into the dark depths of the ship to perform the emergency systems reset procedure.
You mean turn everything off and on again?
Exactly, boyo.
Presumably I'll be the one doing the legwork, as usual.
Well, if you want, we could make it seem like you had a choice in the matter. Here, we'll flip for it. Heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
It's heads.
Blast! I can't help but feel that somehow that was always going to happen.
What fates impose that men must needs abide, it boots not to resist both wind and tide.
Gosh, the writing on this voyage just stepped up a level. That was borderline Shakespeare.
Aye, borderline.
Right, I'm off. That leads out of the cockpit. I haven't been up here long and already I think I've started to lose muscle density. On a more positive note, it would appear my bone density has remained unaffected. Triple action. Removes grease, fights odours, preserves one's dignity while attempting to squeeze through a narrow opening. The holy trinity of cleaning products. If you want a job done around here, you've got to do it yourself. Whilst that did smell like a spring breeze, it did chafe a turd. I think I'd better go carb-free when we get back to old Blighty. I'm afraid I've nothing useful to hand. I'm sure this'll come in. Wait for it. Handy, eh? Yes. If I'm not going to rummage in there wearing one pair of gloves, I can hardly see why I would with two. The depravity that goes through some people's minds. It'll take more than putting on a glove for me to place my hand in there. Or another glove, for that matter. I'm sure there's a... We'll agree to disagree about that. That leads into the sitting room. Once more onto the breach we go. I don't feel suitably dressed to be heading out. I've always thought it was a big risk having an airlock. I'm not sure the insurance would cover us if we were burgled. Yeah, let's see. box is sealed shut. Why, it would be impossible to determine the fate of any biological life form inside.